thought in all of your heads. One day there's going to be grandmas named Amber and Caitlin. Is that going to be weird or what? I'm going to my great aunt Taylor's house. It's going to be a real sentence. I got 2 kids. My daughter's a redhead. She's almost 7. Yeah, see, I married an Irish girl, which is pretty much all the drama of a Mexican girl with none of the food. I like to float that one early to see how tight your asses are in those chairs. My kind of crowd. I like you guys. A lot of similarities there. People don't think about it. The Mexicans and the Irish, the same big, loud Catholic family, same drinking problem, same stabbing problem. Just better English, and I don't get tamales at Christmas. I got fun. My little boy is 2.5. We circumcised him. Well, not now. But when he was born, no, he's too young for a timeout, so I got to send the message somehow. Let me spank him again and I won't have to deal with it. No, we had 2 and we're done. I don't want to hear that shit from older people either. All right? Having kids now is harder than it ever has been. I don't want to hear shit from the older generations about how hard they had it. Like, oh, you kids today, you're exhausted. You have 2 children and you're wiped out. We had 7. We weren't tired. Yeah, because back then parenting was this. Don't. That's it, and we're finished. You can line up all 7 on the way out the door. Now go outside and play. Remember outside and play? Yeah, we had that. Remember outside and play? There's no more outside and play. I'm in charge of every moment of my children's life. Somebody's got to be with them all the time. They didn't give a shit what happened to us. Be back when it gets dark. That's all they gave a shit about. Well, we live under a freeway. Be back when it's dark. And you thought that meant at the latest. No, try bring your ass home before that. I said when it gets dark, get back outside. Kids today are fat, yeah, because we only had 2 meals. Between 9 and 6, we couldn't come back in the house. Now they scare you. They're like, oh, you can't send the kids outside. The molesters are out there. Newsflash, they were out there when we were kids, too. And it was even scarier because their vans had no windows. You could anything could happen back then. Remember those 80s vans? I felt bad for people who were legitimately plumbers and locksmiths and needed that van. There was no way to not look creepy. Molesters were out there when we were kids too. There were just 10 of us. We could kick his ass. It didn't matter. We're never alone. So 2 and done. That's it. My daughter, she learned to read really young. And if you've ever been around a kid when they're learning to read, that's only half the battle. Like, you're proud of them, but you realize you're on a lot. As a parent, you got to explain whatever they just put a bunch of words together and formed a sentence. You got to answer a question now. I can hear her in the back seat. She's in her car seat. She's reading out the window of the car while we're driving. She's going, food for less? Great, now I have to explain poverty. That's not what she said. She thinks about it for a minute and goes, Daddy, is there a store called Food for More? I swear she asked that. I said, yes, Princess, but we call it Whole Foods. That's food for more. Food for way more than is necessary. It's gluten-free. It's also mortgage-free. If I buy this shit, we're going to have to live in the box this was made in. Oh, man. So I'm very much in favor of gay marriage because I want to see the TV show that we should all be waiting for. Gay Divorce Court. Oh, how much fun will that shit be? Gay Divorce Court? That's going to be all. And let the effeminate queen and the butch lesbian be the lawyers. That's funny. I want to be the judge. Gay Divorce Court with Judge Strait. Sometimes the jokes just write themselves. I want that. But having a daughter, she was like the first granddaughter on either side, or it was all boys in the family. I didn't know how I was going to handle that. It's like, because I'm always the one saying, you know, how much harder the men have it in a lot of situations. But I'm forced to look now at how much harder women have it in certain situations, like fashion-wise. Guys, we have it so much easier. Look what I'm wearing right now. I'm almost 40. This isn't cool. It wasn't that long ago men had to dress up for everything. Like a few generations ago, men wore suits. You'd be in the gym in a three-piece suit with a fucking cigarette. You had to look good because you were torturing your actual body, so you had to cover that up. Now, what I'm wearing right now has never been in or out of style my entire life, and it never will be. Fellas, we never have that pressure. Ladies, you have that pressure all the time. It says it right in your store names, Forever 21. Damn. There needs to be another store called Eventually 48. Just moo-moos and sweatpants, and let these bitches retire from the having to be hot game. Your products lie right to you on the package of I saw this bra. It said, this bra eliminates back fat. Is this a big epidemic right now? Back fat? And don't they mean to say it eliminates the appearance of back fat? Unless it comes with a gym membership and vegetables, I call bullshit on the back fat reduction. I don't think that's going to work. No, I don't pretend to know everything about women. If there's only two things I know, it's one, women do like funny guys, and number two, all rich guys are hilarious. Apparently. I've had some pretty good jokes tonight, but none of them are better than a BMW, I can tell you that. That Mercedes is a lot funnier than any shit I'll say tonight. From Southern California, I'm a proud LA native. Where are my natives? Born and raised out here, where are you? Thank you very much. It's time to defend it against the haters. Screw anybody who can't handle an earthquake, they're pussies. They literally will stay in a frozen tundra location because they're scared of the big one. They'll freeze their ass off in Minnesota, whatever keeps them there. It's crowded enough. I don't argue with them. But when they're not listening, let's be logical right now. Winter happens every year and lasts for way more months than it's supposed to. A season is supposed to be 3 months. That's 5 months of snow in some of those places. And it affects everybody. And let's look at other natural disasters. Hurricanes. How brutal. They tease the crap out of you. They let you know they're coming and there's nothing you can do. They're on the news every day. 3 days till they take all your stuff. 2 days till they take all your stuff. Go ahead, pack up, can't move your house. Tomorrow I'm taking all your stuff. Let's look at earthquakes. They happen once a decade. Shake for 8 seconds. Then you turn on the TV and see who really got messed up. It's never you. And let's look at earthquakes positively. Sometimes you need all your stuff laid out. It's not an earthquake, it's God's intervention for a hoarder. That's all that is. Your grandma was never going to clean out that garage. Now she has to. Well, Ronnie, I'm a huge boxing fan. That's my favorite sport. I watch every fight. I played basketball when I was younger because I'm tall and, well, you know, for color. They weren't. Thanks for admitting you know what I'm talking about. The coach trying to whiten up the bench for the yearbook picture. Anyone else been at that school? Let's give the illusion of diversity. Sit him in the center. One white guy on the team without an Eastern European last name, so that was my job. But no, when I got into boxing, and if you ever watch fights, it's not mainstream anymore because that's not on network TV and people don't follow it until the pay-per-view fights come out. That's not what's going to make you a fan. Those guys in the pay-per-view fights, the Mayweathers, they're good. They don't want to get hit, they're not going to get hit, and the fight might suck. You got to watch the guys that are still desperate. That's where the brawls are. Turn on ESPN or Showtime, you can tell during the introductions, this is going to be a war. In this corner from East St. Louis with 10 kids by 8 different mamas, please welcome. Wow. That dude ain't quitting on his stool. And his opponent in this corner from Colombia, whose visa expires in round 7, please welcome. I like this. Those guys aren't even getting paid. They're fighting for buffet tickets to the Indian casino they're fighting at. That's going to be a war. And I like MMA, but I don't know what's happening when they go to the ground. I really don't. It's hard to explain. How do I explain to my children the guy getting teabagged is winning? I don't. No, I'm not, like I said, I'm not homophobic at all, but it's okay to make fun of it, though. It is. I mean, people just get weird around gay people sometimes. I had a friend of mine, like, hesitantly shaking hands with the dude that was obviously gay. Like, dude, you're not going to catch it. You're not going to be gay when you walk away from it. But I'm a comedian, so I can never just say something and leave it alone. It dances in my head for a while. I'm like, not going to catch gay. That would be hilarious, though. Imagine if that's what gay was. Like, people weren't gay or straight, but gay was like a cold, and everybody got it once or twice a year for a few days. It sounds ridiculous, but you'd be used to it. It's like, oh, God. What's wrong with you? Oh, the queers are going around. You want to take some? No, it's too late. This time tomorrow, I am knee-deep in frat boys. You're calling in sick, or calling in gay to work, maybe? I can't make it. You feeling bad? No, I'm feeling fabulous. Yeah, go ahead and take a few days, Steve. We don't need you redecorating again. Before I want to say, you guys can actually follow me on Twitter. My name is Chris Strait, Strait with no GH, S-T-R-A-I-T. Or if you like the box, I'm at Boxing Roasted, which is exactly what it sounds like. I roast fighters and tell jokes about that stuff because they can't reach me through the computer. Podcast on the radio. I don't want them getting mad. But no, it's weird to look at like neighborhoods, the change. Like a lot of neighborhoods that I grew up around. Like I went to Culver City High School, and that it was dead. There was nothing to do. Now it's this jumping area. Venice was scary. Now it's like $1 million houses. It's weird for me to see that. Neighborhoods change ethnicity too. That's been happening all like where I grew up, Englewood, Ladera Heights border used to be Jewish. Then it went like rich black. And what's weird, a lot of people don't realize how many Jewish neighborhoods there used to be. East LA was Jewish way back in the day. Some of the street names are still Jewish. That's only funny if you know that Mexican gangs tend to name themselves after their street. And I've never heard of a gang like that, but at some point that must have been a meeting that they had to have. Okay, dude, I'm not getting a tattoo that says Finkelstein Boulevard. No, fuck it. I'm not doing that. You hear he got shot? Where? Schwartz Deli? It just doesn't sound right. Just stick around. That was actually an introduction. I said I'm from LA, so when I go to boxing matches, it was an introduction to a lot of Mexican American culture. For example, if you ever watch fights, you know this. Every Mexican American fighter, only Chicanos do it. They've all got a pair of these trunks. Mexican flag on the front, American flag on the back. It's always like that too. It's never the other way around. I finally pulled this guy aside that I was interviewing. I said, "What's up with the trunks? Why do you all have that?" He goes, "Don't you get it, man? It's a statement." I said, "What's the statement?" He goes, "My balls are Mexican, but my ass is staying right here." That's awesome. That's impressive. Makes perfect sense now. Well, I will say that people always ask me, "Are you saving for your daughter's college?" I'm like, no. I got a master's degree. Look what I do. All right. Since 1980, this is a real stat. The average college tuition has gone up 600%. The average job pay, 30%. Yeah, it's a scam. I mean, if you want to do something that you need a degree to do, then like teach, engineer, or doctor, something like that. Go to state schools and save your money. All right, don't like pay for private school, then get a philosophy degree. My bachelor's was in history, and when I got out, imagine that, the big history factories weren't hiring. Somebody could have tipped me off. Because the world changes too fast. Now everybody's got a degree. That doesn't help you get a job. You got to look into the future before you give advice to children. I'm not telling my daughter to stay in school. I'm telling her Chinese guys are hot. When our new masters take over, they won't need Chuckle Boy. Laughter's not their thing. And I'm going to have a 6'2" redhead for breeding purposes. They will need her. Make a bunch of freckly Yao Mings. That's what they want. I'm Chris Strait. Enjoy the rest of your show. Take care.
Chris Strait, everybody! Chris Strait! Woo! All righty. Hey, check out our website. It's icehousecomedy.com.